On Sunday, the moon shifts in line with the sun at 0 degrees Cancer and sends an eclipse sweeping over North Africa, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan and North India, through into China and Hong Kong and Taiwan. Eclipses activate an unsettling energy to the places that they touch. They awaken and realign. If something is out of balance, an eclipse can make an adjustment that shifts the power around. The 0 degrees Cancer is significant because Cancer is the sign of the mother, and 0 degrees is like an amplification or a breakthrough point of her energy. It marks the solstice, the day of the longest darkness in the southern hemisphere and the longest daylight in the northern hemisphere. And although Cancer is protective, nurturing and sensitive, this is the force of the divine feminine, and she is birthing in the tides of Cancer's psychic and unconditional depth. This new moon stirs an emotional response from the heart, from the home, from the earth. There's a persistence and resilience driving the undercurrent. 0 degrees Cancer awakens the mother instinct to love without fear and fight for what she loves. And this might mean you open up to someone who cares, and the relief of feeling understood changes your view on an old wound. Or it can turn self-criticism into self-pride and self-love. It lets you nurture yourself on all levels. Saturn, the ruler of law, convention and structure, is under scrutiny over this eclipse phase. And what was considered regular, routine and necessary is now being viewed through a different lens. Eclipses offer a shift in time, a crossroad between history and the future potential. Our current situation includes climate crisis, COVID-19, mass protests for justice, and a global economic downturn. But internally, our current situation shows passion, hope, inner strength, community, connectedness, the heart. Saturn is in a position to try out something unconventional, perhaps involving technology, education or collaborations, something to bridge the gap and explore new thinking, ideas and ideals. It's a test phase, but by the end of the year, the lines of accountability will be redrawn. The outer planets will continue to dismantle top-down power structures, expose limiting social beliefs, and address cultural misconceptions. But the seeds are sown. One of the keys to reading the room of this eclipse is the amount of retrograde planets turning their power inwards and tapping into root causes. Mercury turns retrograde on the 17th of July. And Venus, Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto have all turned themselves into the internal process of reflection and assessment. It's a bit like going into lockdown. This could have you examining your aspirations, commitments and responsibilities, perhaps with a newfound inner strength to make the changes you need for balance and wholeness. By the time Neptune turns back on June 23, the soul is really searching for answers. Mars is still within range to act as a protective shield or a smokescreen for all the BS. But the message is getting through that rigidity or a lack of transparency will invoke a visceral response to break the standoff. Body signals, intuition, your senses, these are the places that you'll get your best advice. Mars and Neptune in its lower vibration is deceptive, slippery and overwhelming. But when it aims higher, it's about acts of kindness, empathy, spiritual connection. The boundaries dissolve. So use the love vibe and aim for a higher form of protection and better outcomes. Retrogrades give us the chance to retrace our steps and see if we do things differently. They give us time to adjust our inner compass to a new frequency. And that's what's going on a personal and on a collective level. We won't have significant external evidence until these retrogrades finish from around September through to the end of the year. But a huge amount of transformation is being incubated in Cancer's birthing process. And this new moon is nurturing a seed with new life, a new set of rules. In December, a line-up with Saturn and Jupiter integrates the threads into being, and a new 20-year cycle begins. The last one was in May 2000, and now those millennials will come of age. We are growing up. I'm Merryl Key, and this is my mystery school. If you'd like an astrology, tarot, or holistic healing, contact me through my website, www.merrylkey.com. Best of luck for the eclipse. Like, follow, share, subscribe.